Hello and welcome to Under Center with Jake Russell. I'm your host and voice of Tiger football, Collin Sheffield. Alongside me, as always, Coach Russell. Coach Russell, the Tigers go on the road to Faulkner. They go 6 hours down 65 South. They play in Montgomery, Alabama. They've extended their win streak out to 4 now, and you're also 2-0. You're undefeated in Mid-South Conference play, and this is the best start to conference play and the best season that we've had in a long time. So I have to imagine that it just feels so good to have a little bit of momentum in the locker room, because you still have a lot of guys in that locker room that have been through these struggles, and now they're kind of on the winning side of things and starting to have a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, you can feel the belief, that momentum that you're talking about, really sweeping the team. Even through the first couple games, taking a couple losses, there was still a lot of encouraging things. Us as a staff, and I believe most of our players, still felt like this was a team that would improve at a great rate. Through the season, we knew that our best football would be in the second half of this year, and it's really good to see all three phases play really well. Kind of probably the most complete game we've put together in all three, and just a really, really good road win. Like you said, the longest trip we'll have this year. Even some of the stuff that happened on the trip, the traffic, and some of the changes that had to be made in the schedule with that, our guys just handled it, like a mature team. And we talk to our team a lot about things that have nothing to do with X's and O's that championship teams can handle and do really well. And I think it's a huge, another huge stride for our program, for our guys, and hopefully just really building that belief as we head into the last four, which is what these guys came here to do.
We'll take a look at some of the key players in this one before we really dive into the game. The Tigers were able to get out in offense. They had Jagger Gillis throwing for 248 yards, 4 touchdowns. Luke Shepperson was the NCCAA Offensive Player of the Week, 4 catches for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a spectacular 35-yard just outstretched diving grab. Keelan Lamar, 6 tackles and a tackle for loss. They won that game 36-5. Now, it was a really tough first drive. The Tigers were just moving backwards, and it really felt like, okay, they're going to get their feet under them here in this second drive. Defense gets the ball back, and the Tigers string together about a 9-play, 80-something yard drive, and it just looked well put together. Shepperson making that diving catch really helped spark that as well, and the offense never looked back from there.
Yeah, 2 things. One, when you have a defense that's playing so well and it gives you so much confidence in myself as a head coach, 1, 2 is the offensive coordinator and play caller, and then 3, also our guys on the offensive side. We know there's not that pressure that we literally have to score every single drive to win a game, and that's a huge blessing. And Coach Ford and all the defensive assistants they're crushing it, they're killing it. They've got their guys playing free and fast and very confident. And then Luke's play was just a huge momentum booster. It was 3rd and 14 at the time. Just a great individual play. Jagger giving himself just enough time in the pocket and making a good throw. And then, I always joke with people, say, man, what a play call. I mean, there was nothing there that, the play didn't just scheme him up a great way. That's just a guy making a great individual play. And really, we needed it in that moment. Like you said, had kind of sputtered out on offense first couple of drives, but that was the momentum-changing play, game-changing play we needed. And from there on out, the offense performed really well. I believe 0 turnovers, which was huge. Maybe the first time all year there's been 0 turnovers from the whole group on the offensive side, and that's huge. That's going to be a big thing heading into these last 4 games, heading into this Saturday specifically, where the turnover battle will probably be a huge deciding factor, as it is most games.
So the Tiger offense really didn't gain as many yards as we're used to seeing, but they didn't have to. It was one of those games where your defense went out and got you the short field position most every time. And, you don't need to have 400 yards of total offense when you're starting at the 50 or 40-yard line in Eagle territory every single time.
Did a great job winning the field position battle, whether that was defense creating a turnover, pinning them back deep. Also, our special teams, enough can't be said about Alwin Lopez and the job he's done this year, punting the football, also on kickoff. I mean, we're still in so many hidden yards that, the common fan or even a lot of people on our sideline probably don't think about as the game's going. You see the explosive plays from both teams, but it's those hidden yards where we kick the ball off and tackle them on the 18, and then our next kickoff return, we get it to the 35, right? I mean, that's a lot of stolen, hidden yards throughout the game that make a big difference over the course of a full game. But yeah, just again, like I said, just really a great job by our defense giving us great field position. I'm not a stat guy. I never think about stats in the game. I don't think, Jaggers got 4 touchdowns. Let's try to get them, tie the school record. Some games I think we've had 250 yards on a look-up, and we've had 480. And then even like this past game, it felt like we probably had 400 and something yards on a look-up. And it's like, oh, we only had 300s. But, I don't care. I don't think our players care. We've got a lot of selfless guys that are doing a great job putting their stats, ego, pride aside. And, anytime you play like that, I think everybody's happy.
And it really seemed like the Faulkner team was really trying to keep the offense off the field because we know what this offense can do. It's one of the great strengths of the team. You lead the nation in almost every passing stat out there. And you try to slow that down by going to the run game, and it's not something, they had a pretty balanced offense for the most part, but they were really trying to run it there early, and no matter what, the defense just went out there and kind of got that stop, even if they let them drive through, because they led the way by 5 minutes, I believe, in time of possession. And you all had the ball for 5 less minutes, and you outscore them by 31 points.
Yeah, and that's the great symmetry that you see where offense and defense, and you could throw in special team as well, where they're really complementing each other. Once we got up 13-0, you could see a big shift in what Faulkner was trying to do. They were trying to eat up some of the clock. They were trying to get into their running game, using the play clock, and that's happened multiple times, and that's a great feeling as an offensive coordinator. We say, okay, we've kind of made them get out of what they're comfortable doing. They're now trying to play defense, right? They're trying to keep us off the field. Well, when you've got a really good defense like we do, when you've got a defense that can play the run and stop the run and then get after the quarterback in the passing downs, then you, like I said, you see the total impact that both sides are having on the game. And that's what championship teams do, not being one-sided, not, just, well, if we can't score 60 points, we're not going to win. If we can't hold them under 20, we're not going to win. And it's going to take both sides and special teams playing really, really well to go beat Lindsey Wilson this Saturday and hopefully give us a chance to make a run at a conference championship the rest of the year.
Quick takeaways from your team on a rough, or not a rough, but on a away Mid-South Conference game.
Just a huge step forward in the maturity, a huge step forward in learning what it takes to win a championship. Our conference is the best conference in the nation for a reason. There was guys on their side of the ball that were some of the best, that were the best guys we've played all year. I mean, they had a couple individual players on both sides of the ball that, are all whatever. They're going to be all conference guys. They're probably all American worthy. And that's what we're going to see every week, and it's a great test. It's a great job by our guys. It's hopefully a huge momentum and confidence builder. And again, just we're doing a lot of first in this many years, right? I don't know when the last time we won 2 conference road games in a row, but I'm sure it's the first in a few years. Like you said, I think this is, even right now, the most wins we've had in a few years. And so just really proud of our guys. I mean, we talk about making history a lot, and hopefully there's still a lot left to be made this year. So I know the guys are going to have a great week of practice. It's got to be the best one all year. And, I'm sure we'll talk about it in just a second, but the Lindsey Wilson game, that rivalry, is just so awesome, to go up against a program that's been one of the best 5 in the country over the last decade. And it doesn't need any hype, 20 minutes away from each other, and just really excited for it, and our guys are too.
We'll step away and take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the secondary and special teams coach Ryan Bey here on Under Center with Jake Russell.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you
Welcome back to Under Center with Jake Russell. I'm your host, Collin Sheffield. Beside me this time, I have Coach Beatty, the secondary coach, and the special teams coordinator as well. Coach Beatty, we'll get into this amazing defense and great special teams in a second. Why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about yourself, where you come from, your background?
Yes, sir. Well, I'm born and raised in Pasadena, California, a West Coast boy. Loved the West Coast a lot. Went to KCU with my master program, was a GA there for 2 years. Met Coach Russell, my second year coaching there. It was great. I ended up playing against Coach Russell at Belhaven University in 2015. It was a great matchup there. They beat us pretty good. But yes, Coach Russell got a job up here and decided to bring me along, and I came up here with no questions asked about it, and came up here and I'm enjoying my time up here so far.
So what has been some of your favorite parts about Campbellsville? You can talk about the team, you can talk about the city, the school, whatever.
Yeah, the school, man, that's the biggest part of it. What they have to offer here, the support is just unmatched. It's unmatched. My family been enjoying all the support they gave to us. The scenery, the lake out here has always been talked about. We love the lake. My little ones love the lake. Just getting out of the house and just enjoying outside. It's been awesome. It's been awesome, and the team is been great. Seeing 3 different teams come together because we have a returning group, a group of transfers and freshmen coming in together all at once in a small period of time to come in and bond with each other. They've been doing a great job with that, and it's been awesome here so far.
What have some of that been like? You know, you come in, this is pretty much a relatively new coaching staff. Yes, obviously, some of you have coached with each other before coming from KCU, but there are other coaches that are kind of blending into that. Same with the team. Everybody's kind of blending together. What have been some of the challenges early on, and how's this team really responded to it? Yeah,
it's been great. This staff is probably one of the best I've been a part of so far. It's a mixture of guys that came with Coach Russell from KCU, new guys coming in, guys that's been here too, man. And those guys that's been here, Coach Atwood and Coach Brown, has been so great for us and so helpful. Just around the community and also around the school. It's been great. The guys have responded in the right way, starting from spring, going on to fall camp. They respond in the right way. We challenge those guys a lot every single day just to respond to adversity and just to handle things like that. And, man, it's been awesome so far, man. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now, man. It's been awesome to be here. Yes, sir.
I'll start with this. A pass goes to the sideline in that game against Faulkner, hit you right in the chest, and you dropped it. The sideline immediately is all on top of you, and you get down, you start doing push-ups. Yes, I'm assuming that's something you have your guys do as well?
I'm being held accountable, like I held my guys accountable too. It was a cover 2. My guy broke on the out route. He didn't get it, so it came to me. It kind of shocked me. I kind of jumped out the way and tried to go for a catch and dropped it in front of my guys. So my guys got on me pretty tough on the sideline. I was accountable, like I held them accountable, did my push-ups for them. On the sideline, on the spot right there. It was fun. It was a great game, so I had to get it done for them.
So the defense is only allowing about 18 points a game this season. This team forces fumbles. They're top 20 in the nation in interceptions. What can you help attribute to the success of this defense, of this secondary?
Well, I will give all the credit to our guys. We push those guys every single day just to finish plays. Coach Ford, man, he's a great leader on the defense, man. We follow after his lead. Our guys are just responding to what he says. Our goal is to average, give up 19 points a game, and we're below that right now. Me just holding my guys accountable, no matter what it is. The smallest things I push on them guys. We can't let it happen because that one small thing that we let pass can cost us a game. So I just trying to make sure my guys are just getting held accountable and always finishing through every rep, and just having fun. Just having fun out there, not too much pressure on those guys because that can also lead to disaster. So just having fun out there and just playing free, and that's the big part of it. Yes, sir.
When you think of great defenses, you usually think of a lot of experience. You think of a lot of juniors, seniors. This Lindsey Wilson team has a lot of red shirts all up and down this lineup. Your secondary really is kind of young, honestly. C.J. Cutliff's a freshman, Antoine Fant just a sophomore. What's it like having these guys step up in the secondary in a spot that's arguably one of the hardest out there in football, having these young guys go up against experienced receivers and getting this job done?
Well, those guys are great athletes. Speak to herself. These guys they play good college football. They play good high school football, so they're taught the right way coming into college. Like you said, it's a very young group, but that young group is hungry. They're hungry for plays. They're hungry to make plays. But it's really our offense we go against in practice every single day. Those guys get us ready for the game. Those guys are very good. They're top passing offense in the nation, and going against those guys every single day helps us out a lot on the defense side of the ball. Like you said, they're very young, but CJ played last year, so he's a redshirt freshman. He's a great young guy right there. Anton is a great leader for the back end, and those guys set a great example for our young guys, where I played 2 freshmen in my rotation every single game, and those guys are gaining great experience for them going forward too. So it's a great group of guys with a mixture of transfers, returners, and also freshmen.
So this is your first battle of Highway 55. Yes. What have you been told? What has the message been in the coaches' meetings? What are you expecting out of this game?
Yeah, well, it's my first time in this game where we have 3 coaches on staff that's actually played in the game and also coaching this game. So I'm leaning on those guys a lot more to see about Lindsey Wilson. And those guys have been giving us great advice about this team and what this game is about. And man, it's a big game. It's a big game. I'm enjoying everything about it this week. I'm enjoying every moment we have leading up to this game. So this taking it all in and understanding, man, this is a big game for our program, also our school, and also our community. And just understanding, man, how important it is, and just really enjoying it.
Coming into the Mid-South Conference, you're playing a lot of these top 10 teams, top 25 teams, and you have that stretch coming up now with University of the Cumberlands, obviously Lindsey Wilson on Saturday, Georgetown, Bethel, all good teams, all top ranked. What has it been like coaching against these teams?
It's been great. It's been great. This is the reason why I came to Campbellsville. Just knowing about the Mid-South Conference here, it's been the talk of the town since I've been coaching. It's a big-time conference, and this is why you want to be in these games, in this conference right here. And you look forward to these games, man. It's going to be a challenge for us the last 4 games of the season, and we look forward to it. These guys are ready. We push these guys from spring ball and also fall camp to get ready for these games like this. And these guys have been responding the right way. Every single day they respond to new challenges, and we love it. We love these type of games. We're gonna relish it all in and have a good game this Saturday.
How do you go into this week preparing your team for a super dangerous return team? You're also the special teams coordinator here. How do you go in preparing them throughout this week for what they're going to see out of Quante Hicks and Logan Collier?
Focus, execution. That's the 2 things we've been focusing on. We've been talking about in special teams practices and meetings. And we're going to look forward to that today and tomorrow when we go to our groups and special teams. We're going to look forward to just focusing on the small details and executing our plays, because we know this can be a big part of the game. Defense and offense can do their job, but special teams can break it open for us, for them too. So we're making sure we bottle everything in and just do our job and just go out there and execute and just have a mentality of winning every rep on special teams, because this is important in this game. It can lead us to victory also. So, yes, sir.
Well, thank you, Coach Beatty. I appreciate your time, and I'll let you get back to it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
When we come back, we'll talk about the upcoming matchup with the Blue Raiders of Lindsey Wilson with head coach Jake Russell here on Under Center with Jake Russell.
We are champions of character.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out?
You can say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You can chat with them in VR. It's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Welcome back to Under Center with Jake Russell. I'm your host, Collin Sheffield. Coach, the Tigers finally, they had a very road-heavy first 6 games. You get off the road and into your own beds, into your own field with your own fans now for about a month. You have 3 straight games at home. You also have a bye week mixed in there after this Lindsey Wilson game. But you have to take on a very tough Lindsey Wilson opponent. They're number 9. This is the Battle of Highway 55. Now, you've played in this rivalry. You're about to coach in this rivalry. The Tigers pushed pretty much a number 1 team last year to the brink, came down to just really a special teams touchdown for Lindsey Wilson. What is it about this rivalry that just makes it so unpredictable?
Yeah, 20 minutes between the schools, just 2 great colleges and universities in general. Both athletic programs are right near the top in NAIA. A lot of the sports teams at both schools excel, which probably speaks to great administration, great resources. We are the center of the state. They're obviously right in the center of the state too, so it's a great opportunity to recruit the state really well. We're in a really good area to recruit Tennessee, Northern Alabama, Georgia, a lot of places, so the school's location is a big part of it. It's also that, both teams really want to win, and both teams at times have been really good programs. Obviously, my very first game here ever as a football player was against Lindsey Wilson. I think they were ranked pretty high at the time, and we played this really good classic game that went down to the final. And they ended up getting us that year. And then in 2015, I don't know if you're going to mention this or not, but we got them towards the last game of the year, which kind of clinched conference championship for us, and it was going to get us in the playoffs. I think they were ranked in the top 5 or at least 10 at that point. And that was the last in-state team that's beat Lindsey Wilson. I mean, they just had this dominant run through NAIA football. They're a perennial power. They're a perennial conference champion and playoff team. And this is why you came here to be a coach. This is why a lot of our guys came here out of high school or transferred in here, was to play in these games, to play in the best conference in NAIA football. And this rivalry is just a lot of fun. Coach Kleckler's just picked up right where Coach O left off, and has done a phenomenal job. I mean, they do a really good job coaching their guys. It's very evident on film, their organization, their discipline, their physicality, all the stuff that all the coaches are preaching, they've got their guys to buy into. And again, it's just a great opportunity. When you go up against a really good opponent, it's a great opportunity to make more huge strides for our program, in a lot of different ways.
And Coach Oliver, he's the one that kind of led their way for a while. Obviously, they're good on all sides of the ball, but they were a pretty good offensive powerhouse. Phil Kleckler takes over after Oliver goes to Georgetown, and that was their defensive coordinator for several years. Now this is also a very defensive-minded team as well, but the offense is still firing on all cylinders. Jabari Dawson, they don't average much rush. They go a lot through the air, but he has 8 touchdowns as well, and this is just a little bit of this is going to be a tough matchup, not only on offense, but on defense as well.
Yeah, that's the MO for Lindsey Wilson, and why they've became, one of the best programs in the nation, is they can beat you in a lot of different ways. Obviously, Coach Kleckler being a defensive guy, the defense has just continued to be really dominant, really well, and the offense hasn't lost anything, right? They're very talented. They've done a great job recruiting the state, great job recruiting some of the areas I mentioned before, whether that be Tennessee, Northern Alabama area. And they develop their guys really well. I mean, I've obviously recruited against them even at other schools, and guys have went there that I was recruiting, and now you see them popping up on the depth chart as a redshirt sophomore or redshirt junior, and they're really coming into their own. So, they've probably done better than most with retention and development, because guys want to be in a championship level program. And like I said before, man, our guys are juiced up, our staff's juiced up. We're just excited. A lot of people around the campus are excited. This rivalry is just fun, right? More than anything, it's fun. It's a trophy game. It's the Battle of Highway 55. I've been on both sides as a player, both winning and losing it. And man, it's just a game. It's a conference game. It's a step towards what we're trying to accomplish this year. But yeah, there is a little something extra there with all the familiarity and just the short distance between the schools.
When we talk about the 3 phases of football, this team is the most dangerous in the nation at returning. We saw it last year. I mean, that was probably arguably one of the biggest difference makers in that game, was a couple of special teams touchdowns. This case, they've already had 5 special teams touchdowns, 2 kickoff returns, and 3 punt returns. Do you even bother kicking to this team, or are you just going to trust in your kick coverage?
Yeah, we've got ultimate faith, one in our kickers. I mean, they're doing an absolutely phenomenal job. Mentioned Aline Lopez earlier, also Colin Freitas, true freshman who's just, hit the ground running with that. Long snappers are doing a great job. And then, man, it's one thing we really tried to do in this short amount of time we had was to build enough depth that our special teams would be really solid, and that we weren't putting guys out there and you hope, man, I hope he doesn't have to be the guy that makes the tackle. And we also ask a lot of our best players, a lot of our starters to go and be on special teams. You see that at Alabama. You see that at a lot of the great programs. Obviously in the NFL you see that, of course, but we got a lot of pride. We put in a lot of work. We take special teams, I think, just as serious, if not more serious, than any program in the nation. It's something that's won us games over the last few years. It's something that's been a huge part of our season so far. I was telling the staff this morning, every Lindsey game I've been a part of or seen, and when watching, being able to watch the rivalry in the past, it's always a huge momentum swinging play on the special teams. You mentioned last year, I can think back to ours. There were kicks, there were returns, everything. So it's something we're just going to double down on this week and really accept the challenge. I mean, obviously there'll be some strategies, some strategic things, depending on the game situation, all that stuff. And it's no surprise. I mean, they've got great guys returning those kicks and everything like that. So, we're going to have a strategy. We're going to believe in it. We're going to practice it. We're going to rep it. And our guys are going to go out and, go do it. So.
We've talked with Coach Beatty about the great secondary that we have, led by guys like Antoine Fant, C.J. Cutliff. This starting quarterback has been known to throw some interceptions. He's thrown about 6 on the season. It's got to feel pretty good knowing if you go over the top, you have those guys in coverage.
Yeah, we have the utmost confidence in our secondary. I mean, Coach Beatty's just done a phenomenal job, personnel management, getting those guys to play with that swagger and confidence and belief. We can be aggressive up front in the box with our defense because we know we have guys that can win one-on-one matchups. And, as a defensive coordinator, that's just the ultimate thing. It allows you to call the game a certain way. And then as an offense going against that, you know that you have to make some adjustments to get the ball out quicker when they're bringing a lot of pressure. And again, it will be a huge thing in the game. A little bit deceiving there. I think he had 4 of those picks in one game. So he's had a great year. He's a really good quarterback. He's not a guy that you look at and say, just make the quarterback beat you. You can't make the throws. Like we mentioned earlier, they're very balanced. They've always done a great job coaching their quarterbacks and getting them to just manage the game and run the offense really well. But, he has the ability. So it'll be a great test for our secondary, and I know they're chomping at the bit for it.
Well, Coach Russell, I'm excited to see this team play on Saturday, and best of luck.
Absolutely. Thank you.
The Tigers return home to Finley Stadium in the Battle of Highway 55 as they take on the Blue Raiders of Lindsey Wilson. This Saturday, kickoff is set for 1:30 p.m. Be sure to follow the action on the CU Tigers YouTube channel on the CU Sports Network, Campbellsville Tigers YouTube page. If you can't be there, that's what you need to join, but please be there in stadium, make some noise, get loud in the Battle of Highway 55. I'd like to thank Coach Russell for being on with us. I'm your host, Collin Sheffield, and thanks for tuning in to Under Center with Jake Russell.